Hello, how's it going? So, because I've been going a bit crazy out there in the wild all the time, you know, decided to get a place, €29. But it'd be nice to get a shower in a minute, so I'm going to go and do that, I think. It's been quite full on, you know, so I'm just making my little bit of food here. I've got the heater on there as well, which is nice. Just try and get this heated up as nice as possible because the shower is a bit on the cold side. It's hard to know whether you should complain about things or not really in it at times, you know. I'll just deal with it and get into this warm bed after. But yeah, I had to get a place because it was getting a bit much and I'm getting a bit smelly and yucky, you know. So I felt like that must be done. I'm just making my little cocktail of food in my jar. Chickpeas, a bit of coconut, a bit of hummus in with chickpeas, which is quite nice. That's the only thing I've got that's kind of manufactured, so I'm trying to keep everything as simple as I can, you know. That was the point of this video really. It was about the sobriety, you know, about being crystal clear and here and present, you know, rather than drugged and, you know, numbing out, and because that is a big part of the system, you know, a big part of the system that we're living in is all about numbing ourselves out, you know. It's about money being made out of our addictions and the parasites in us that love to feed, you know. And the parasites like the more manufactured foods, you know. So, what's that? That's all that is. Anyway, yeah, so basically, you know, I'm noticing more being out there, the tourist stuff and how mad it is and how everywhere is mad, you know, not just tourist places, but, you know, our culture in general, the earth, you know, the people of the earth, and the need to sell things to make money. You know, we create more things than we actually buy, you know. We're manufacturing so much, you know, an extortionate rate. It's unbelievable, you know. And you know, it kind of matters really. That's good. So there's loads of water already in the in with the chickpeas, so it's all gone a bit watery. Anyway, so I'll just try and make this quick really because I need to get my shower back. So there's, through eating like really clear, which is just trying to keep it as natural as possible and not be addicted to anything, you know. Our mood seems to just be very, very stable, you know, very balanced. It's almost too stable. It's almost like as if you can feel a little bit like, it's almost like waking up to life and the world around you, you know. And, you know, it doesn't seem to feel always a positive thing, you know, because you see the madness for how it is, you know. And you're not artificially stimulating your system, you're not artificially making yourself feel the way, you know. So I guess you become more in tune with your feelings, more in tune with what's actually stored in your body, you know. So if you've got grief in there, if you've got something that you need to express or say, that stuff that's usually low level in the background, at the lowest level, comes to the forefront, you know. And my friend was saying about this as well recently, you know. So there's this real clarity, and already, I mean, you wouldn't believe this sounds like a joke, but I can feel the difference from eating the the humus which is being manufactured than like the stuff as it comes from nature, which seems to bring a real clarity. I suppose that's the thing I've been wondering, like, why am I feeling recently more, it's almost like I can hear my soul calling in the background, my soul calling, and realising that what appears directly in front of me doesn't serve, the materialism, all these things. I mean, part of me wants to be able to have the money to buy nice clothes, blah, blah. But that's like a take it or leave it thing, you don't necessarily need to have it, but you don't necessarily need to push away materialism, because we need to be mindful of it, of course. But the sobriety, like the coming off these things, really brings this clarity, really brings you back into centre, into what really matters in my life, because it's almost like you're not denying anything, you're not in denial, that's it, yeah. You're not in denial. When you're not in denial, you can really face what is true in your life. And one of the biggest things is, when we are using food to numb out, to numb out the actual body and the emotions, and the clarity that comes, through cleansing the system is really, really powerful. But as a result, it's almost like this monster of the sea starts welling up, and you feel this churning movement. It's like the sediment, everything starts to move that has been stuck in one place, through these chemical-laden foods, through overloading the digestive system, through all that. So it's not about pushing ourselves to limits like fasting, unless our body feels called to do that, but it's about actually trying to tune ourselves back into nature, realising what substances do we put in our body which cloud the mind, cloud the thinking, cloud the clarity, and ultimately numb out the body system, numb out the emotions, and all that. So it's interesting because this tends to happen to people, they get more clear again. These emotions well up and then they're like, oh, but not consciously, but in the subconscious, they immediately want to go and get more food or to distract on Netflix or, distract on Facebook. And I'm noticing that more. It's almost like through cleansing my system, it's almost like you can see that in the world more. You can see this sort of spiral of unconsciousness more that's going on around you, and you think, oh my God, So in some way, because you see that so much in your face, people think, oh, you're being negative, but it's not being negative. We need to be able to experience the highs and the lows, because they're what's there, not stay stuck in one space, but be able to be dynamic with it, and flow. So in a way, it's like we're uncovering what's underneath all of this. I'll just turn off this, turn off the heater a minute, just for a bit of quietness and clarity. So it's almost as if like there's a cupboard in our house that's never been opened, you know, and in that cupboard is like a big section of our soul and ourself, you know. And through making choices that keep us clear in our life, especially food choices, especially, you know, not smoking, drinking, all those things which really put us into unconsciousness, you know. So I can feel that my body is definitely, you know, something's churning up. It's been like a week or two since I've started eating clear again, you know, not having the manufactured foods. So humus is the only thing that I've had, which is a man-made idea of taking ingredients and mixing them together, you know, and creating an imbalance out of that because of it. Because basically the plants as they come, they're in balance, they're as they're meant to be, you know. So when we create like intense sugar and then like intense whatever, then the body doesn't know what to do, and it's like it's going like that, you know, it's not. And that is affecting the mind, you know, and the way we process, you know. So the fact that we actually use food to numb out our emotions is one of the biggest things that humans struggle to deal with, because one of the biggest things that humans struggle to deal with is their suppressed emotions, you know. I'm just going to breathe a minute just to try and get some clarity. So it's like the pull for things like cheese. You know, for cheese and bread is one of the two biggest, you know. Sugar. So essentially what I'm saying is that a lot of the time our food choices are not soul guided. We do have parasites in our body, and the scientists admit that, and those parasites affect even our moods and our emotions to get us to have certain foods, you know. So a lot of what we see around us is what we would actually call drug induced, even if it's just that people are high off sugar. And people might laugh at that, but it hasn't been taken seriously enough that what we are actually ingesting is really, really having a big effect on our psyche, you know, and especially over time, you know, is creating blockages within the system, within the body system. I've known for a long time now that when the breath is full and deep, that is our natural state, and that's how we need to be breathing, or at least breathing a lot more deep than we are. It's almost as if there is an unconscious program keeping the breath shallow. Now, whether that's fight, flight, trauma, or whatever, that will be part of what it is for a lot of people, you know, not deep breathing, you know, because their nervous system is not in the best way. But I think that there's been more going on with this, and I've not tapped into or understood it properly yet. But it may be part of AI control program on the earth, you know, to keep the breath shallow, because that's our chi and life energy, you know. And what I will say is when our breath is deeper, spirit will be able to get through to us more, you know, our higher energies, our soul, guides, our protection, our family in spirit. We are infinite beings, and we do have infinite potential, and we can override anything. But I do think that the hybridization of our DNA and the manipulation that was done a long time ago is still in effect now. This is why people can't actually manage to get control over themselves and rise up the ladder of consciousness very easily. And then when people do, there is often things that mislead us, and get us pulled off path, and there is a multitude of distractions in this life anyway, but ultimately following our bliss and following our soul's calling and knowing what that is the protection. It's the protection from these agendas. Yet still, I would say that most humans have this issue with the breath, the deep breathing. Just pray a minute. Ask for clarity and protection in this life. Please help us see clearly and not be swayed or pulled by the things of this life that are here to distract us and all the temptations. Let us enjoy life's bounty, but let it be sacred and pure from Mother Earth. Let us discern and know the difference between that which resonates harmonically with us and our body system, and that which causes friction in the gut, the mind, the emotions, and the spirit. The breath is very, very powerful. All I know is from this video is that I need to get more aware again. And I say that so many times, but it's maintaining an awareness, managing to maintain it. Not because I'm on some type of trip to try and become ultra aware, but because on a deeper level I know my soul is calling for that, it's calling to be as conscious as possible. As Eckhart Tolle used to say about presence and being and that state of being, there's a goodness in there, I don't think he said that actually, but there's a state of good, there's a feeling of goodness in there, just like the good foods when you eat those which are clear from Mother Nature, divine, and they are designed to work with our blueprint, our sacred blueprint, the agenda that's on the earth at the moment is to affect our body systems through our foods, So that's why I'm still harping on about food all the time, But I think I've nearly cracked it over the years, I feel like I have. I'm getting very close, There's two issues which are heavy carbs cause quite an overload on the system, So things like chickpeas, lentils and all that. At least that they're clear, at least that they are what they are in general, as long as they're not got additives in it and stuff. But, you can still overconsume those and numb out the system, and, it's upsetting the whole body. The other thing is dried fruits, which, because they're dried, the sugar is extremely intense, so it's a lot for the body to cope with. So what we're talking about is trying to be gentle and nice with our physical body, and as a result, the sense of well-being that we feel within the body allows us to integrate and be aware on a more deeper level, wholly through us, through all our being, through the body, through our life, through all parts of us. So it's a very wholesome and integrated thing. And it's almost like we're connecting to Gaia through these plants, through the plants that she gives, So the better these plants have been treated, the better for our body system it is. So very beautiful stuff there. It's very, very beautiful, isn't it? Because she's working with us. She is working with us, and I've not been able to keep sight of that recently, travelling everywhere and stuff. So that's about it really. It's nothing amazing this video, but I just thought I'd put something out there before I get my shower. So this is how I feel, and it's not artificially affected. I don't feel like that, and that's alright, and I think it's alright to be where you're at, I don't feel really, really depressed or anything, but, I feel more on that, there's a heavy sort of feeling there, and that is what's there, that's what's there, and it's almost like when you stop drugging yourself, you see what's actually there, So it's really powerful stuff. Oh, I've had this pain here for quite a while, I need to sort that out. Oh, sometimes living in a tent is not the best thing, But that's all I can say for now, really. But yeah, for those of you really trying to cleanse your body system, it's an amazing thing, and it takes time, and it can take years to find out what you actually need and what you don't, So, but I think I'm getting closer, so that's good, But there is a sort of a veil of amnesia that comes in that, we say one week, oh, I need to stop, or I need to cut that down. And then the next week we're back with it again. It's almost like we forget. It's like almost it's as if there's a program to forget, but we'll find out what that is in time. I'm not sure what it is quite yet, But, I see the swirly hypnosis thing in the light that's shining on me from the camera here. And this is the point, it's about being drugged into a stupor, into a hypnosis, We're going round and round, a lot of us humans, we have the work thing, and then we go around, we buy stuff. And we consume, and there's a big level of denial, And what we're doing here is turning around and facing the truth, God bless you people, and God bless this life. Let's put this heater back on again. So I think this is the right path for me, because I feel what I do, and I have a bit of less tolerance for the system, and I think that's all right. It's coming up because I'm not engaging in it, I'm not becoming part of that agenda. So it's like there's a soul weariness, there's a soul tiredness of it. It's almost as if we could be two different people, like if we started eating all the manufactured foods, especially the cheese and the stuff with E numbers in and all that, which take us down a different timeline, humanity down a different timeline. It's almost as if we can become a different person there, and that person, their consciousness is lower, they're not, some people can manage to still rise out of it, but overall it's not holistic, it's not what we would be doing in our truest self. We will be eating from the nature, we would be working with the spirit of the plant, and working with life. So we're talking about working with life here. Okay, I think that's about it really. So only you know what's right for you. I'll leave it there. Take care, eh? Cheers.